Hello guys, how you doing? I hope you are doing great. Welcome to this channel, Mr. Bad Boy for reaction. We do reaction daily to different kind of videos. So if you have any videos you want me to react to it, this is the channel for you. It's all about reaction and reviewing beautiful videos and special videos. So this is why we are here. So today we're gonna react to this the video here. It says Su57 is here. A Russian fifth generation jet enters the service. So we're gonna react to this jet, this beautiful Russian jet, the Su57. As you can see, guys, the Su57 is such a beautiful jet, and it's so big and it's so smart, and it's very developed technology on this jet, made by the Russian. So we're gonna react to it. This is the fifth generation. So guys, so let's go.
The long-awaited mass production of the Su57 is coming to the Russian military. It's taken more than 2 decades.
So this is on RT News channel. This is a famous Russian channel.
With incredible capabilities, potential, and appearance. Let's take
I love this channel actually.
The latest and most advanced Russian fighter by the Sukhoi company is all about.
Wow, beast. Very beautiful jet. Oh, I love the decoration on the top of this jet,
The Su57 multi-role fighter
stealth and speed, yeah.
Modern Russian military plane. Its production code is the T-50, and
yes, very modern
aviation complex of Frontline Aviation or PAK-FAR. It's been entirely designed and produced in Russia.
Designed and produced in Russia, of course.
Fifth generation Su57 aviation complex. It's a brand new, unique platform with its developers.
Yulia Shapalova. She's Russian.
On the legacy of its predecessors, like the Su27, Su30, or Su35. It is to become apparent to all the next generations of fighters and unmanned aerial vehicles. The Su57 is a single-seat jet. The duties of the co-pilot are now performed by artificial intelligence. The plane combines
it looks small, but it's so big.
And a strike aircraft. It's filled with the best technologies the Russian aerospace industry has to offer. Powerful engines, excellent maneuverability, and first-class avionics, including an active phased array radar. It's able to
crazy maneuver it has, this jet.
Maintains a stable and controlled flight at high angles of attack and can fly at supersonic speeds at an extremely low altitude. It takes off and lands in a traditional
Supersonic
horizontal
speed.
manner.
Wow.
It's got an extremely short takeoff and landing distance. I can't say how short it is. It's a closely guarded secret, but presumably the length of an aircraft carrier flight deck should be enough for it to take off and land. So the jet can be adapted for the Navy without the need to be specially modified for vertical takeoff and landing, like for example the American F-35B or the old Soviet carrier-based Yak-38 and Yak-41 jump jets. Modification for vertical takeoff negatively affects the plane's speed, range, load capacity, and can even damage the landing surface of an aircraft carrier due to the hot exhaust from the nozzle. So all that once again speaks to the versatility of the Su57. The jet is equipped with an impressive arsenal of high-tech weapons on board. Its missiles range is twice as long as the previous generation missiles. Along with the aircraft itself, its missiles
this jet is so flat, it's like, it's very tiny, it's like very flat. It's like a knife, It cuts, it goes in sky, it's like a knife, like cutting the air. Oh, yeah, it's true, the design looks like a knife.
To the middle of the 21st century.
Sergei
enormous modernization potential.
Bogdan.
On the basis of this magnificent
Su57.
aerodynamic platform, it'll be possible to create and develop new types of weapons. It has all the characteristics of a fifth-generation aircraft. At present,
I don't know how much it costs, this jet. Tell me in the comments how much cost, like how many money you need to buy this jet.
of the
Oh, this is the
Su57.
American
The fifth
Raptor.
generation F-22, which has already ceased production, was created for the domestic market only.
F-22,
It's an air
yeah.
superiority fighter equipped primarily with air-to-air missiles. Later, the Americans created another fifth generation F-35 bomber specializing in ground and naval targets. In the F-35, developers put stealth technology at the forefront. The jets become part of the F-35
So this is
program
the
and sells in other
American
countries with
jet.
cars also produced abroad. But the F-35 does not have the ability to effectively solve fighter missions in the air, and its maneuverability is inferior even to some fourth-generation aircraft. So back in the early 2000s, the Russian military set a task for the Sukhoi company to create a multi-role fighter that would be superior to both the F-22 and F-35 aircraft. So here it is, all in one. It's been designed to gain superiority in the air, meaning it's an interceptor that can employ guided air-to-air missiles. It's also a bomber being able to strike ground-naval targets. It's a flying information center that
Oh, they can use it as a bomber too.
data. And it's a perfect close-range dogfighter thanks to its outstanding maneuverability. Plus, it's got that magnetic beauty. However, the super maneuverability is not a fundamental requirement in the West, because their doctrine focuses more on long-range combat. But experts say in case of a real air war, planes will inevitably have to close the distance and go for a close-range dogfight. So the Russians say they have built
F-22,
an
the
aircraft
Americans,
that
they
excels
have
both
beautiful
in-war and
jets too.
close-range combat. That suggests the Su-57 combines and exceeds the abilities of the American F-22 Raptor and F-35. Ironically, and it's a pure coincidence of course, if we add up the numbers 22 and 35, it makes 57. Even though they all are the Gen 5 jets, a strict comparison is not really appropriate, as they all are different and serve different purposes. What is true though is that any of them could hypothetically clash with any other in the sky. Most people would agree now that all sides have to do absolutely everything to prevent the world from learning which country's planes are the best. But the more I learn about this machine, the more I admire the technology. In fact, the Su-57 is superior to the American fighters in maneuverability, speed, range and flight duration. The Russian fighter can reach speeds of 1,600 miles per hour, while the American F-35 clocks in at 1,200
miles per hour.
Thanks to the ability
Oh,
to
that's more
constantly
than
generate
F-35.
oxygen, the flight duration of the Su-57 is 5.8 hours, almost twice as long as the American F-35,
Wow.
which can stay in the air 2.5 hours. The
You see?
maximum combat load of the Russian aircraft is 22,000 pounds, while that of the American plane is 20,000
It's full of
The
missiles.
maximum takeoff weight of the Su-57 is also
Wow.
bigger, 78,300 pounds versus 70,000 pounds. The
Yeah,
service
that's
ceiling
bigger
of the
than
Su-57 is
the American
65,000 feet,
jet.
and the F-35 service ceiling is 50,000 feet.
65,000 feet. That's very badass jet. Very powerful and very stealth.
Missiles are carried in special internal weapons bays. All that makes it practically invisible to enemy radar, including infrared eyes. Plus, a special pixelated coating gives the effect of a blurry contour, which somewhat distorts the boundaries of the plane. However, some Western experts claim it's not as stealthy as its American rivals. Of course, radar stealth significantly increases the combat effectiveness and survivability of a plane. But without high flight performance and the full range of combat equipment, stealth itself is meaningless. The Su-57 has a combination of all
I know
those
that trick, the
characteristics,
name of
and
that trick. They
makes
say
an
it's, they
absolute
call it the
world
Cobra. Jets go like this and
Stealthy or not
turn
so
back,
stealthy,
stand
all
up
the critical voices
like a
go
cobra
silent
snake.
when this machine starts to fly. Critics from around the world are wondering about the limits of the capabilities of this aircraft. The super maneuverability of the Su-57 comes courtesy of its aerodynamic configuration and twin turbojet engines. The aircraft is currently being produced with a so-called first stage engine, and second stage engines will be installed on the mass-produced versions in the not-so-distant future. The Su-57 uses a thrust vectoring control engine, meaning its nozzles can deviate diagonally. This is a great advantage when flying at high angles of attack and while performing aerobatics. For comparison, the standard engine of the American F-22, the F-119PW100 from Pratt & Whitney, can rotate its nozzle plates only vertically up and down. That simplifies takeoff and pitch at altitude, but does not make the Raptor equally maneuverable. It's obvious, though, that the outcome of aerial combat primarily depends on the skill of the pilot. These guys, the test pilots, are the ones who determine what to remove and what to retain in the planes. In order to set limits for combat pilots, they have to push their jets far beyond those limits, looking over the edge and risking their lives.
We are the link between all the departments that develop various systems, equipment, displays, an information and control field. Every new generation of aircraft turns out to be more complicated, so our task is to make an aircraft easier for combat pilots.
Yes,
The more comfortable the pilot
it's more
feels,
complicated,
the more
as he
effectively
say.
they fulfill their tasks. When I became a test pilot, senior experienced comrades
Every
used to
time they
say
create
that
a new
if
jet,
thanks
it's
to
more
you, a
complicated
tiny
with
switch had
all
been
this
installed on the plane, you didn't waste your life.
techniques and
Lightweight
technology
and
and
carbon composite materials make up to 25%
and
of
how
the entry weight
to
of the
like
airplane. The ejection seat of the Su-57
fly with it
is able to save the pilot at any
becomes
flight altitude, even
much
from
much
the ground.
like
The jet's
much
equipped with a
smart.
powerful
So you
locator
need
called APAR, which is an active phased array system. Plus, there are also a huge number of
need
receiving
to have a
and
very good
transmitting modules
pilot to
distributed
drive
all over its
this
body.
kind of jets.
That provides the aircraft with a long detection range, multi-channel tracking of targets, and the employment of guided missiles on them. The Su-57 has its own high-precision autonomous navigation system, which works regardless of whether there is a signal from satellites or not. It will lead the aircraft to its target and allow high-precision use of weapons. Even with no satellites,
Whoa.
the Su-57
Whoa,
will never
just
get lost.
whoa.
The question is now, are humans smart enough to pilot such a smart machine?
A combat pilot must
Yes.
perform a task with minimal distraction from the secondary
It's very
tasks
smart
behind the
machine,
wheels,
so they need
so it's necessary for
you
them
need
to
smart
interact with the
people
machine
too to
easily.
drive this kind of
Therefore,
jet.
there are so-called electronic assistants that eliminate unnecessary options, erroneous actions, and so on. All that thanks to the plane's artificial intelligence.
Since it's a war machine, it must fight, and it has already fought in real combat conditions in Syria, launching guided missiles and dropping bombs on ground targets. The NATO press was wondering back then what the 5th-gen fighters were doing in the local conflict. The answer was simple.
Any aircraft is taken seriously after it's been used in real combat. As a rule, any customer is always interested in whether an aircraft is in service and in which conflicts it's taken part. That adds status to the aircraft on sale.
The Su-57 is the newest aircraft, but it already has its history. So here are some of the main milestones in its life. The aircraft made its first maiden flight in January 2010. The fighter's first flight with a new second-stage engine with increased thrust and fuel efficiency took place in December 2017.
It's a very nice design.
During the operation of the Russian Air Force in Syria in November 2018, the Su-57 attacked terrorists with cruise missiles. In September 2019, the first joint flight of the Su-57 as a leader aircraft and the heavy strike drone Ochotnik or Hunter took place. In December 2019, the Sukhoi company lost one of the machines right before its transfer to the army. It crashed some 60 miles from the Komsomolsk-on-Amur plant in the Siberian taiga during a test flight. But despite some failures, the plane's design is now totally completed, and it is planned that by 2028, 76 mass-produced Su-57 aircraft will be in service with the Russian Air Force.
The more powerful the weapon, the more likely it will never be used, I believe. It's an element of deterrence, like any other weapon. We're not creating things to attack someone, but if it is required that we defend ourselves, we must be able to do that adequately and respond properly to all the modern challenges of science, technology, and aviation.
There's still quite a long road ahead for the Su-57. It has yet to showcase its enormous
Yes, it's
potential.
all about
And
protection.
no doubt we'll hear more
I
about
hope
it,
so.
as it will definitely be on the radar of journalists and all those who admire the aviation industry. And today, it's starting a new page in its life. Yulia Shapovalova, RT.
So this is the end of the video, guys. This is a review. This is a reaction to this the Su-57, beautiful jet, as you can see. Now they are producing it and they developing it to become better and better with more technology and more smart things they put on this jet in Russia. Such a beautiful Su Beautiful jet. I love it. It's very famous jet and beautiful compared to the American jets. So yeah, we're gonna do someday the comparison between American jets and Russian jets, so we can see who's better. So guys, this is my reaction to this video. I hope you liked the video, guys. So don't forget to subscribe and share the video and leave a comment. So I will see you in the next video.